Alright, you guys, today we're going to be showing something Pablo whipped up for us on Minerva to kill withers more faster. So, I'm starting here in survival mode showing one of our members Southern AFKing our wither farm, because it occurs to me that not everybody might understand how necessary something like this is. So in a farm like this, there's a tutorial on this farm in the description below. It's called the Minerva Wither Farm, very creatively named, but it's basically a nether fortress farm where we get lots of wither skulls. With the bedrock removed, which we do not have, this thing runs at about 6.5 skulls a minute, and then if you log in a second account, you can reach the 8 to 9 skulls a minute area, and it is quite fast in the amount of skulls you get. And actually turning wither skulls into beacons is harder than you might think, because it turns out there's this boss in the game that the wither skulls turn into, and it's less than easy to kill. Well, or is it? So I'm here in a testing world with Pablo placing all our soul sand, and what he's set up is, in layman's terms, a very fast way for the soul sand to get placed and for the withers to spawn. I'm going to go ahead and turn, I don't even know what I have to turn down for this. I'm going to turn down everything because withers are very, very noisy. So this is a setup, currently set up to suffocate them in bedrock of the end portal. This isn't quite practical because as you get too many of them in there, they will start hitting you off the side and killing you. They will start suffocating and taking a bunch of damage and destroying the soul sand as it comes up. So what you want to do is grab these, grab blast protection armor, blast protection 4 all around, plus a smite 5 sword will make it a lot easier to kill the withers, and you won't actually take hardly any damage whatsoever. Pablo's going to help me kill all these. I'm going to hop in that chamber and show you kind of it being used. Okay, so now we've rearranged the portal to demonstrate what we would recommend. So suffocating is easy and requires, only one person, but it won't be as practical because you will very, very quickly be spawning withers at a far less efficient pace. I forgot to mention, but the title already spoiled it. This does kill 75 withers per minute, or spawns them in rather. And so Pablo's going to start getting these in here, and I'm going to hurry in here before they start exploding. So I have all of my armor on. I have a diamond sword with sweeping edge. That's important to mention that we didn't have earlier. And if you hop into survival mode, you'll see how the blast protection takes, I believe, 96% of the damage. Or more, and so you don't actually take hardly any at all. And with proper beacon setups, you'll be good and ready to go. As you can see, when I start swinging, I'll be doing tons and tons of damage to the withers. Their health bar is going down tremendously. With that sweeping edge, every single wither should die all at once, and I'm gonna grab tons and tons and tons of experience. And all of your stars will be collected below, and most of the soul sand that gets collected. And of course, you can just keep on swinging while another person spawns it in. If you're in single player building this, I would recommend maybe spawning in just like a whole bunch all at once, and then like coming in later to attack them. So what happens here is these withers are spawning in and I can't actually attack them, and the one that isn't blown up and prepared in the world is behind it out of the way. So that does happen in time, but that's okay. They'll eventually get spawned in and move out of your way, and then you can attack all the withers. So yeah, this is really, really efficient and really, really cool. From Pablo's perspective, he's over there just holding right click on soul sand, and it's actually really, really easy to use. And we'll show you how to die to the void in just a second. Did I say void? I meant tutorial on how to actually build this. Okay, so in starting the tutorial, you're going to need an end portal, or technically speaking, a 3x3 bedrock with a block above that bedrock, and then, a block to trap the withers. So you can find these in the nether. However, as of 1.13, thanks Mojang, the bedrock ceiling in the nether is no longer constant between every single world. So if you get lucky enough to find one of these on your world, then fantastic. But for everybody else, or anybody who wants to be lazy, you're gonna have to use your end portal. And honestly, it's not that bad because the end portal is usually a pretty decently visited area on a world, so it's not too hard to find. Once you have it, you're going to need a water bucket. An age-old trick that I hope Mojang doesn't patch is just placing against a block. The water bucket will replace a portal block. The reason that you're going to need to replace this portal block is I'm going to assume you don't want withers flying all over your spawn, because this will spawn 75 of them a minute. That will make anybody you're playing with very angry very fast. So what we're going to do is start off with the cross of the wither. This is mostly something to measure out with, but you're going to want to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blocks down, and then it's on this bedrock, or well, any block that you're building with, probably not bedrock, that you're going to want to place 3 normal pistons facing up. Again, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks, and then the T that you're using to mark. Technically, this will not be here in the end, but it gives us a nice layout to work with. 1 block out from these bottom pistons, you're going to want to place another piston, and then we can get into the wiring. Okay, so a good starting point off of this chest is the area where you're going to be storing your skulls. So right 1 block up from this chest, you're going to want to place a hopper on top of that. Another hopper up here facing into where a minecart will go. You're going to want to prep this area by placing a minecart. It should be noted, hopefully this isn't too late in the tutorial, is if you're facing these quadrant of 4 pistons, you want to be facing west. We have not tested this in other directions, so if you're going to do that, be careful. This does use 0 tick, so it's very, very, very precise wiring. If you don't place this facing west, you're kind of in uncharted territories, because we haven't tested that ourselves and we're not 100% sure on that. So just be careful if you're doing that. Next, you're going to want to place a cobblestone wall to align the minecart, and then a trapdoor up on top of here that the soul sand will push the minecart into. Speaking of which, you want the minecart to be on that cobble wall so it gets stuck, and you don't need this rail anymore, and you also don't need the block on that piston. Next, you're going to want to place blocks around the area. You're going to want this chest to be something you can open. So just surround it like so. You want to come up with blocks like so, and then you can, I don't know, put a stair above this chest or something just so you can access it kind of easily from the side. I'm going to use quartz because it's a nice block, just like that. Okay, we're going to start with the bud on the side that triggers these 4 pistons right down here. You're going to want to come up from up here. You technically don't need the soul sand anymore unless you just want the marker. Place 3 dispensers facing up like this, and then we're going to power them from the side just like so, with a line of dust coming in just like that. And then we can branch that out to the rest of our wiring. You're going to want to come out 2 blocks more, place a slab like this. The wiring will come up from down here, and then a block down here, and then a block right there. And then it should look something like this. You want to put dust all the way around here. A piston facing off of this block. This will update a redstone block right here. Going to have a budded piston right down here. That'll extend for now, but it doesn't matter. That piston will bud, so we can remove that block for now, just so we can sneak in a normal piston on the other side, just to push this block back. And then you're free to place this redstone block back right here. Down from below, we're going to need to put a redstone dust right on top of this, and then we're going to place 4 blocks just like so, 2 blocks out like that, then a normal piston on the end of this. Come below that piston, extend the delay down to here, and then that'll just create a bud chain to update this piston at the appropriate time. Put a block on the face of that piston, and then a normal redstone block right on top of that. These will power a redstone line very, very shortly, leading up to this block right here, and then we have to lead this into the other pistons. Leading in from this dust right here, we're going to power this piston from below, and then these pistons from the side. Dust on all of these blocks right here. Block above that to cut off the signal. A slab up here for the signal to go underneath. And then we're going to cut off that signal up here, bring it around from the side, and power it directly just like so. And then dust all the way along all of these, except for this one needs to be a repeater, which I don't have right now. Boom, 1 tick right there. And that should be the signal circuit for this update, except that it gets powered from back here. This piston gets updated by the redstone block. This needs to be updated right here. And then every time soul sand will come in, it'll hopefully bud all of these pistons if you built it correctly, but I didn't because I forgot that underneath this block right here, you need dust. And then the entire system should reset itself. So the soul sand will come in just like so, and then this will bud everything upwards just like that, while dispensing skulls to summon the withers. Alright, for the next part, you're going to need a very specific piston layout. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blocks from this middle piston, you're going to need to place a sticky piston facing like this. And then you're going to need another sticky piston facing like this. Right in front of this piston down below, you're going to need to place a normal piston facing up. I don't have a normal piston. Right there. And then you're going to want to come out a block up like this and place a normal piston facing like that. So it should look something like this. Right next to this piston, you're going to want to place a stair because we're going to be having a redstone torch on top of that. Lead in the normal blocks right behind this piston, leading all the way up just like so. And this will face off to the side and do another setup. And then you can place it just like that. This piston will get updated by another piston facing straight down. I don't believe that needs to be sticky, so it can be whatever piston you want, if you want to save a slime ball. And then basically this will just have the effect of being 0 tick. And then you want to come in from over here and then place a stair or slab leading up to this piston. I've already got a stair on me, so I'm going to use it right there. All right, next we're going to wire up this piston from the back. So we're going to need to do a couple things here, just like that. You can place the blocks under the piston just like so. You're going to need to have a block underneath the piston and then go up one block here, down one block here, out one, and then 1, 2, 3 blocks. 3 blocks just like so. Wrap it around going up, and then we're going to trail this into another piston that we triggered up above. Now the default state of this block should be down, so it'll be just like so, and then we'll have a 1 tick repeater out the back, dust going all the way down between all of these different blocks, and then a single repeater there and a single repeater here with a block on the face of that. Over here you're going to want a sticky piston just like so, and a block powering that. So every 4 blocks that goes through this, it'll go over to this one. So if we just do 1, 2, 3, 4, it will create the appropriate shape for a wither if you build it correctly, which I don't think I did. As it turns out I did, but when you start off this entire build, you're going to need to have all the soul sand in place. So now would be a good time to go through, place in some of the soul sand manually. You can place it in just like so. Make sure the blocks above these pistons are totally clear. So you can do it just like so. That way, if you want to test this, you can place them on this block, and it should create the appropriate shape for the wither bosses, just like so. Alright, now for the input. It is at this point that you guys are pretty much 50% done with the wiring. We've got the buds to push the blocks up, the buds to push the blocks in. All we need is the mechanism for you to place, and then a safety just to realign you if it ever gets messed up. So, to protect you from messing anything up, we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 blocks back. It is on this last block that you're going to want to place a sticky piston facing in. And then you can pop out this block because that needs to be clear. We're going to go down 1, place a, no, wrong direction. Need to place a stair once again using the trick with the torch on top. And then we'll come below, placing a normal piston down here. That way, every time you push it, it'll update this piston and then remind you that you forgot a block, and then it'll push all the soul sand into the system. Now to place the clock out the back, you're going to want to come in from this input right here with a dropper facing up and a hopper facing into it. You're going to need some sort of delay. We recommend about 8 items in there. And then coming out from behind this dropper, you're going to need to put a comparator leading into a block. I'm just going to build the shape of this right now. Basically a nice little honeycomb redstone pattern just like that, with a 4-tick repeater facing out from down here. Oops, 1, 2, 3 on that. 4-tick repeater up here. And then you can put a torch down here, torch right there, and a dust right down here. The repeater should actually be reversed. Next, we're going to install the safety for the system. So this will detect every single time that a wither is spawned. So you can come out with 2 observers just like so, facing down into a block. Then we're going to have a 2-tick repeater out the back. I believe it's 2 ticks. Let me check right now. Yes, it is. And he put a slab, which I think is vestigial. So you don't need to have a slab on that. You can place it down just like so with a block on the face of the repeater. Come out 4 blocks, dust on every single one of these. Then we're going to build a nice little shape for the comparator fader facing in just like so. This will basically detect every single time that a wither is spawned. This will start its long cooldown. And every single time it's spawned, it'll just keep delaying this. And then when it stops, it'll trigger the system to start doing some trickery to help you get back on track if the withers have stopped spawning for some reason, which usually means they broke the soul sand and the player needs to be recorrected. So a 2-tick repeater facing into this will start that clock. For this, you need to place the piston sideways like so, grab a trapdoor and an observer, face it sideways like that, and then a trapdoor just like so. Every single time this trapdoor is powered, it'll basically stop in front of the player so that they can't place any more soul sand, and it'll help you get back on track. Now we're going to actually place the soul sand dispenser and area where the player will stand. Alright, you're going to want to place some sort of platform around the player. This will basically just surround the piston underneath, leave a block under there so it doesn't push. And then this block of redstone is where the player will stand. So we use a block of redstone and an iron trapdoor because when you place a block here, it'll actually power the trapdoor. So if this is wooden, it wouldn't quite work as well. You want to place an observer out the side and then a block on that observer. just like so, and then a dropper facing into the player. You're going to want to place 2 hopper input on this because it will be firing at 5 items per second, and you will require 2 hoppers to keep up with that because each hopper moves 2.5 items per second. So this is where all of your soul sand will go. You can just, if you're in creative, then you can hold middle click and then drag it out, and this will input into your dropper, allowing you to place more. So that should almost already be it. I was going to start this, but we don't have any skulls in the system, and that would break it. So from here, you can sort of decorate. If you want to have a wooden door on this and just let you place it in here, that'd be fine. You're not ready to go. We do have one more crucial step, so just don't mistake the decorations for us being finished, but just be sure that all these blocks are sort of surrounded. You get a nice little area for the player to stand, and then it'll be on this block, on this soul sand block right here, that you want to be placing anything in. Next is sort of the most important part, and that's the chicken. So the chicken needs to be, I believe, 2 blocks behind, and then you can sort of angle it so that it's on the same level that the wither will see. I believe you do need to bust out this bedrock so the wither will have a line of sight. And then you can place the chicken on this block. So it'll be 2 back from the door and then on this block right here. And then I believe it needs to be a transparent block so the withers can see. So you can just make it a nice little glass shell. In survival, I would recommend building it too high, putting a chicken inside of there with an egg. So if I actually just grab an egg right now, we can chuck it until we get a baby, and then we can just box it off, and then that will get tracked by all of the withers so they don't, get mad at. Did I just get a quad egg? That's a 1 in 256 chance. Wow.
I tested. You do not need to break this bedrock.
Oh, well, there you go. Thank you, Pablo. That's I'm gonna break the tutorial professionalism to get excited about that. A quad egg. When was the last time you got a quad egg, Pablo?
I don't remember one. Wow.
So if anybody doesn't know, that's a 1 in 256 chance that you have a better chance of catching a shiny Pokemon in Pokemon Go than doing that. How about it? Or did they make that 512? Okay, now I totally digress, but that should be pretty much it. From there, you just need to fill in your dispensers with wither skulls, and then surround some sort of area that the player will be around. So you can put a bunch of glass around here so the withers don't, do anything crazy. You can protect the player just like so. The withers will blow up a 3x3 area within here, centered on this block, so you won't be able to place anything right there, but you will be able to surround it like so. And you do need a spot for the player to stand, which Pablo, I think, can sort of set up here. You can have a door right here. Like we said, blast protection 4 on all 4 pieces of armor. If you're using the unicorn trigger that we use on Minerva, we've been showing this in some of our other videos, you will want to trigger that, put on a blast protection 4 helmet. Looting is completely unnecessary because they have a 100% chance of dropping 1 star, and you will get a lot of XP. So you might want to put mending on that sword and armor just to keep everything going if you're going to be doing this for a long time. Beacons are suggested, and then of course the door, just so it doesn't, push you back, and you will be taking a lot of explosions. You'll be able to access your chest down here. I think that just about covers it. So if we can actually put some... What?
One more thing. You need a bedrock here, so the withers don't fly up.
Kind of an important note.
And you need a slab inside of here on the top to prevent you from placing souls on there.
Yeah, so Pablo is the one who designed all of this. I had absolutely no stake in it. I just have kind of a, suppose a better voice for tutorials. So he's been coaching me through this the entire time. So you guys can let me know in the comments below how I did. If Pablo doesn't mind, if you want to play some soul sand, I'm going to load this up with wither skulls and we can test this live right now. I'll maybe just put 3 stacks in each. Oh god, he started without me.
Oh.
And I can just bust out all the soul sand here. And I think we can start testing this now. If withers start spawning, then we'll know for sure that we got it right. So check it out. We built it first try, correct, nice and easy. Hope you guys enjoy this design. There will be a world download to this in the description below. I'm not really sure as of yet if we're going to make this its own custom world download or if we're going to just, leave everything in here, because none of this is insanely crazy or special. But if you guys want to check out some of the things we've been testing, like a distribution system for our wither farm, then be sure to, I don't know, explore your curiosity. This is only for Minerva though, because we built it improperly. If you follow the tutorial for the wither farm shown at the beginning, then you will never have the problem that we had to solve. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoy your new wither killer, and take it easy.